Hi, I'm Dr. Katie, the Senior Centered Physical Therapist, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I have the honor of interviewing Karena Thek, who is the founder of Scolio-Pilates. Karena has authored 3 books, Scolio-Pilates, Osteo-Pilates, and The Pilates Golf Athlete. In addition to being an author, she has taken her program to many clients all over the world to help so many people with scoliosis. Her goal is that those with scoliosis have hope and that they know that living with scoliosis is truly possible. So in this video, we are going to do a 5-minute workout to help us lengthen as well as find a little bit more movement in our body. So let's get started.
Well, welcome to Scolio-Pilates. And we would love to share with you, Katie and I, just some exercises that we generally start with a Scolio-Pilates program, some basics. And we'll begin with just elongating the spine. And we're going to give ourselves a little bit of space here. Sitting cross-legged is great. I usually keep one leg in front of the other so the ankles aren't exactly crossed, but one leg kind of just stacked in front of the other. And then with the fingertips on the sides of the body, you want the arms to straighten. So sometimes we need to kind of walk those fingertips away until the arms feel long and straight. And you've almost created a triangle from your head to your fingertips here. Good work. And then from there, we're going to press the fingertips into the ground. So you feel the earth as if your fingers are growing roots and spreading. Same with the hips. And then you feel an attachment as well to the sky. So there's an elongation between the 2 points. That's it. Good work. Elongating from the earth roots up to the sky. And now I want you to feel a little bit of bubbling happening in the spine. So you can think of little champagne bubbles. You can think of just a little bit of wiggle as if there's water in a stream. And instead of keeping your spine ramrod straight here, I'd like you to feel as if you're moving through that stream from the very base of the spine at the pelvis. And that stream is going to move and kind of bubble side to side in the spine from one level to the next, all the way up to the neck, and then through the top of the head to the sky. And again, let's first wiggle it out. You can imagine you're just a little bit of seaweed in the ocean. And then from there, earth roots in the fingers and root the head to the sky. And then find that little bit of bubbling happening right at the base of the spine. And then now imagine it's just moving up one level at a time, back and forth here. And you're going to find that that bubbling and that little bit of movement is a lot easier at some levels than another. Like for me, like right about here, right in the middle of my upper back here, I find that it would love to bubble this way, but it doesn't really want to bubble so much the other way, like opening up over here is like, so you really want to feel as if you can get both sides to spread open and then just kind of let it go through the neck. And then again, elongating here. Now, once we have found this length, we know now that that length is not rigid. We know now that that length is very mobile and kind of like a breeze going through a tree. And now we're going to accentuate that breeze with our own breath. So you're going to inhale, and right around the level of the mid-chest, maybe bra strap level, you're going to expand that space into both sides, let it expand, and then you're going to feel it wiggle itself up through the sky again. Again, we're not talking about ramrods, we're talking about breezes. And again, inhale, open up that space. That's it, in the mid-back. And then exhaling, up you go. Let's take 2 more like that. Inhale, let that breeze expand from the inside to the outside, and that's really important. We're not trying to create a shape, we're trying to create change. And then exhale up to the sky. You've got 1 more like this. Inhale, open, open, open. And when you exhale, go ahead and take the arms up to a letter V. Imagine you're holding on to some tree branches here, and you're going to pull those tree branches towards your head as the arms bend. That's it. And the head reaches up to the branch. And then reaching, inhale. Exhale, squeeze the bum. And bring the branch to your head. Bring your head to the branch. That looks really beautiful and long, Katie. Good. Inhaling and exhaling. Up, 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 up you go. Elongating and inhaling. Good. And exhaling. Squeeze the bum. And let's do one more. Inhale, you go. And exhaling down. Expand the arms. Bring the heels of the hands together. Flip the hands and open. Good. We'll just do a little neural glide here for the arms, because the arms do definitely get affected by that little scoliosis curve going on. So just giving them some little TLC to finish up here. And there. And there. Good work. Two more. And D. Da, da. And last time, heels of the hands, fingertips flip, and you open. Hands on the knees, and just give it a little bit of seaweed wiggle. There you go. Good work. So there you go. Little Scolio-Pilates introduction for you, just to kind of feel that in your body. That was awesome, Katie.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh,
You're welcome.
I feel so tall.
Yes, good. And hopefully mobile.
Yeah, exactly. I think a big thing that I always say that the old school posture school was this. You know, we all have to like pull it back so tight and be really, like you said, like that broad rigid. And this is finding that length and that movement at the same time. And it's such a different feel. Can you talk a little bit about the breathing and why it's important to find that length and then the breath?
Yeah. Yeah, and so you can, if we exaggerate this and we imagine we're that person that we've all seen in the grocery store, right? That we're here, you know, pushing the cart. And I've actually probably been this person in the grocery store. It really depends on the day. And so here you are. And then, of course, I've always been this person at my computer. And you try just for a moment to take a deep breath here. And you see how restricted it is. You can really experience that immediately. And then you find that length, and then your diaphragm, which is a giant muscle, finds its home inside you. Then when you inhale, it has its own space to move in. And so we're trying to, with scoliosis, make the change literally from the inside out. We're not trying to create this pretty shape that looks wonderful, but instead we're trying to give the diaphragm an actual space to live in and a space to strengthen within. So the diaphragm, just like any muscle, can thicken as it strengthens, just like, you know, the bicep muscle. And it can measurably become thicker as it becomes stronger. This is not going to be a place on your computer, on your phone, with your little grocery cart. This is not going to be a place where we can strengthen the diaphragm, not in one part of it, not in another part. But once it's finding its home, then of course it can strengthen. And that's what we need. We need a strong internal support that acts like a, I don't know, what are those structures on the inside of a church that would hold it up? I know on the outside we have the flying buttresses on those giant cathedrals, but on the inside, yeah, we have an oomph.
We need those
Right.
pillars, yeah.
The pillars, there we go. Exactly. So that would definitely be why we want to start from the inside out.
Yeah, and that makes so much sense too. And like you said, I think a lot of people, especially as technology advances, we get more and more here. So being able to expand. And so when we're breathing then, is it finding the breath in the belly? Is it finding the breath in the chest, or is it both?
That's a really good question. So the only reason the belly expands when we inhale is because the diaphragm goes down.
Mm-hmm.
And as the diaphragm goes down, it pushes the organs kind of out of the way. It's like, hey guys, make some room for me. So it's not actually that the breath ever ends up in the belly, because the breath stays in the lungs, right? Near the two shell, hopefully. Because otherwise you'd have an exploded lung. So,
yes, yeah. If you're doing that, don't watch the rest of this video, please.
Right. And so the breath, if you think about the shape of the diaphragm, it does make this jellyfish shape jellyfish shape inside of our torsos. And on the exhale, it lives about here. And on the inhale, it lives just a smidge lower. And so as that whole shape descends on the inhale, then of course the belly tissues will get moved out of the way. But we do want to think about the diaphragm expanding in all directions. If we're here on our phones, then the back of the diaphragm is expanding. If we're standing in that posture that you were demonstrating earlier, Katie, then of course, then it's the front that's expanding and the back that's been shut down. But ideally, you know, you want the whole diaphragm contracting and expanding. It's kind of like you've got a pole, think of maybe a maypole, being supported by all of these guy wires in all directions. And you don't want the support only coming front and only going back. And it's the same with the diaphragm. The whole diaphragm should be allowed to work. It just so happens that we, as humans, tend to be better individually at either one version or another, or depending on the time of day.
Yes.
So.
How are scoliosis at that moment?
And the scoliosis, absolutely. So the scoliosis will grab those guy wires in different ways as well. And even changing that scoliosis a smidge by doing the elongation is going to allow those guy wires to contract more equally around the circle. Yeah.
And then just last question. So when we're doing our elongation, as we're doing this and we're feeling the length, is there anything that's kind of if you're feeling pain, if you're feeling discomfort, we should stop? Or is it normal to feel discomfort? Kind of what's a sign that maybe things aren't what we're wanting to do?
That's a really good question. So the pain and discomfort that I hear, first of all, pain and discomfort is your body's begging you to stop. So you should. It's like sending you red alerts. This is not going the way we want it to go. So the very first thing would be the setup. Like many people, this is not going to be okay to sit like this. Mm-hmm. And so feet can go on the floor. If I had a pillow here, you know, I can prop a pillow underneath a hip. There's so many different ways. And how you're sitting, Katie, might work just fine. Mm-hmm. If the hip flexors are an issue, then frequently, you know, we just need to get the feet grounded into the floor. The next thing I hear about is that once we actually begin this exercise, it's like, wow, I feel like so much stretch in my spine, it almost feels like a strain. Feeling elongated, feeling like you've got room to breathe, good. Feeling strain, not okay. So we call it actually a stretch strain. And that seems to make sense to our patients and clients that things are, it's not the direction we want to go. So it's a little difficult to kind of comprehend, because like when you stretch your calf muscles, you do feel a certain amount of stretch, and it's fairly intense, and it's not a bad thing. But we can't take that sensation and unfortunately apply it to the spine. And so if you're doing this exercise and you feel that kind of stretch strain that you might have been feeling in a calf muscle, it's an automatic back off. So here I am with my fingertips turning into earth roots. And as I elongate, I can go as far as my body will let me go until I start to feel that stretch strain. And then if I feel it, because today I'm not, but tomorrow I might, I need to back off 10%, 20% until it goes away. Doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means don't give it 100% today. Some days I can give it 20%. Some days I can give it 100%. So just you really need to gauge your way through it. Because the unfortunate part of this is that if you do push through that strain, you're going to have a moment where you're like, oh, it's gone. It feels so much better. So I must have been doing the right thing. Unfortunately, what's happened is you've overridden this mechanism that your body has to protect you from what you're trying to do. And you can override it. You can be like, I told you. And then the moment that you stop doing it, up to 30 minutes later, your body's like, nope, gotcha. And it's going to grab on even tighter. We call it a rebound effect. And so if you're getting if you're exercising, doing anything, whether it's this or something else, and you feel this tremendous release after pushing through pain, just know you've overridden it. And if you're wondering why you're hurting 20 to 30 minutes later, even worse than when you started, now you know why. You've rebounded, and it takes a while to get out of that rebound. You've not caused permanent damage. It's just your body saying, hey, you, let's talk. Please don't do that again. So, yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for this intro to Scolio-Pilates. Where can people find you to find out more about Scolio-Pilates?
Scolio-Pilates.com is a really good place. So that's gonna have, that's our website. So it's gonna have everything there. Lots of free videos on the blog page, and yeah, YouTube has lots of free videos too. So yeah, we're out there for sure.
Excellent. Yep, we will put links to all that in the notes in this video as well as on our blog. Karena and I did an interview, so check that out on the seniorcenteredpt.com. Thank you so much, Karena. We really appreciate you. Oh my gosh, I know this is going to help so many of our viewers, so thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Katie. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed learning from Karena as much as I always do. As always, please check out the blog, The Senior Centered PT, to find out more about Karena and Scolio-Pilates, as well as to check out her website, Scolio-Pilates.com. Until next time, I'm Dr. Katie, the Senior Centered Physical Therapist. Have the strength to live life to the fullest. Bye-bye.